Hello. That timer doesn't count down to 0. Hey, the sound works. Always got to do a panicked scroll to make sure that all of the bits are working, but they seem to be. Hi, everybody. Hope I'm coming through okay. Let me know. Let's have a chat about some games, that are going to be at the UK Games Expo, which is this week, unbelievably. I don't know how it's pretty much June. It seems impossible, but that's time racing for you, isn't it? Hey, Monica, playing Ezra and Nehemiah, so I won't be posting much. Ezra and Nehemiah? Love it. I'll let you off then. If you're playing that, realised it must be getting delivered. I knew Paul had done his video on it, and then I noticed that I've started getting comments, and that's like one of the most watched videos at the moment. It must be delivery. I hope you're enjoying it. Hey, James. It is a new intro timer clock. I now realise it does not do anything when it gets to 1 second. It just stops there. I just thought, like, I used to have a program. There was like a little program that changed a text file that somehow made a countdown timer on the intro screen. I've since wiped my computer because I haven't used that countdown for ages and realised I don't remember what that program was. And then I found a quick thing on Google that looks like this background. Thought, oh, it looks like I've made this. Brilliant. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Everything coming through okay? Great. No Marty Cam, unfortunately. He is sprawled out on the sofa, feeling sorry for himself. And really, he's got no excuse. It's not roasting hot up here yet. He should be up here catering to his millions and millions of fans. But no, he's not fussed about that, is he? Can't get cats to do now. I think James' bot is working. You can support the channel on Patreon. You can do it on Ko-fi. So I'm able to do any of the many playthroughs and this thing that I'm doing now. How am I able to be here for this? Thanks to patrons of that, isn't it? Thanks, everyone. So, shall we have a look then? So this is a list kind of cobbled together from, not to be down on things too much, the not fantastic new games list on the UK Games Expo website. I'm not saying the games aren't fantastic. I'm saying the games list is kind of poor. And there were a fair few things on this that I only saw when I got sent like a little... Am I in front of this? I got sent like a little Excel with what's going to be at the press preview. I was like, oh, loads of these aren't on this list. Oh, and emails from people that aren't on either list that are going to be there. So, yeah, there may be even more missing that I don't know is there yet. There's one company that I just found from, like, they just stood out when I was scrolling through the map. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? There's going to be like a fair bit there to check out, I think. And we're going to do it. Oh yeah, it is in the right order. So it's in order of company. So you'll see some things grouped together of things. Most of the stuff I'll say is to try there. Some of the things are to buy there. Some, because they've come from these random sources, I have no idea which. It's almost as if the UK Games Expo could have used someone that used to make an amazing list to keep making that list. But hey, the past's the past, isn't it? So Rove, this is from Addax Games. They're going to be there. So I didn't realise, well, I saw, like, Paul had done a playthrough for Rove and stuff. It's on Kickstarter, I think. As soon as you say co-op campaign game, although I've got a billion unfinished and plenty kind of sold on knowing that there's going to be no time to do any of this, I still seem hungry and desperate for more of those things. You know, we're a gang of adventurers, high fantasy world. Sounds very cool, but this is the team that made the Crimson Scales, right? I think I'm right in saying that, for Gloomhaven, the unofficial fan-made expansion. Which I hear great things about, and yeah, so I'm pretty keen on having a look at that, and it seems like they're going to have it for demo as it finishes up on Kickstarter. I say as well, like, loads of these things, it's the first time hearing of them, and some of them haven't got that much on Board Game Geek, so I'm going to try and rattle through them, because I think I've got 30 odd, and I may have missed out on things, so if I'm not mentioning anything, what are you most excited about there? Because I might have missed it out and I need to catch up on things. Right, what is next? We're moving on to Alley Cat Games. Oh, don't reload all the pages. I opened all of this ahead of time for a reason. Fate Flip. Washed Ashore. Alicat are going to have a few things here. So this is a kind of choose your own adventure thing. Well, a solo story adventure here. You are washed up on the shore, shipwrecked, and the story is presented through cards, and you make decisions, you know, kind of choose your own adventure style through them. But looks like you're tracking resources, trying to survive on the island. It sounds pretty cool to me, and presumably part of some kind of ongoing series as well. They will also have, we're going to have to put up with this little hiatus as I click between tabs, aren't we? Happy Home, which is from Matthew Dunstan and Brett Gilbert, which I feel like I used to say this constantly, especially when I was doing like review videos, but between them have, and separately, have designed so many amazing games, including Elysium, that one day I'll do a playthrough for and reveal why, and probably remember why I keep going on about it so much. It's such a good card game. This is a lighter polyomino laying game where we are trying to lay furniture pieces and fill up our houses here, cover up the scratches and accessories to make a really nice looking home. It'll be great. Wash Shore's in your list, James. It does look pretty cool. And like, I tried, it was so many years ago now, I can't remember the name of the series. They only did a couple, I think. There was one that was a pirate theme, and there was one that was like a robot way. Was it like Stowaway 52? Yes, we're having a Stowaway 52 is what it was called. I remember the first time I ever went on proper adult holiday, really. We went to America the first time, and well, it would be if it was your first holiday, wouldn't it? And these had just come out. These, I don't know if they ever made any more of these card ventures. They were, I don't know how similar it's going to be, but they were like a choose your own adventure thing, going through a deck of 52 cards, going through this story. I like them. I don't know why. Well, they occurred to me because of Fateful Elysium. Yes, we'll get to it one day. I think it nearly got high enough in a vote recently. I'll keep putting it in there till it gets higher up, because I start to feel like with some of these games, like revisiting Nauticus after years was great, because like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember why I hold it in such high regard. But Elysium's gotten to that point now where I know that I love it, but I don't quite remember specifically why I love it so much. But either way, it's staying on the shelves forever, whether it's getting played again or not. Hiatus. So this hasn't got a Board Game Geek page yet. And this probably, like, out of everything, this would be, I think, Rachel's pick for the entire convention. We saw a kind of, I think it was last Expo. It would have been last Expo, because I don't go to Essen, do I, anymore. So there was a little prototype of it there. Pusheen the stacking game, which is a rebranded variant of Kitten that you might remember I did a playthrough for ages and ages ago, where you have tiny little cat meeples and you're trying to stack them up in various ways as quickly as possible. Quickest one without knocking everything over gets the card. You try and do that as much as you can. And this is Pusheen themed, which is a cat thing, and Rach is all the way up for it. So I'm on board as well, because that's how things work. So yeah, 3 things. And there's also, they're assumably going to have demos for, like, they've got Arborea there as well, because like the new to buy stuff is new for the expo, so like, yeah, that's going to be there. And Ada's Dream is their current thing on Kickstarter. Yeah, I hope to try that out at some point. If one becomes available, I'll be doing a playthrough for it, but who knows, fingers crossed, but I think it's already going. Next up is drumroll, Pampero, which I talked about in the Essen list, I think. Julian Pombo, who was the co-designer of Mercado de Lisboa, doing a great big Euro game by themselves. Lovely illustrations by Ian O'Toole. It's published by Ape Games, who are going to be there, presumably with copies, because this was out at Essen, right? And yeah, we're trying to harness some lovely wind energy in economic Euro game. That's as big as that picture goes. I was hoping for it to zoom right in, but yeah, as always, beautiful look from Ian O'Toole. It looks like it's going to be the quality standards of like the Eagle Griffin Deluxe games. We'll see, won't we? Because yeah, I haven't had one. Next up, from the Asmodee Star Wars stand, And this is another thing that's nowhere on there, but Asmodee have posted about it. I've seen a post about it, and someone's asked in my Discord about it. It might have been you, James. I can't even say it. I don't think I'll be playing it. The Mandalorian Adventures, where we are completing missions together as recognisable characters from the hit TV series. I haven't seen the TV series, I'm afraid. Shock horror. Maybe I'll get around to it one day. So we will be navigating unique maps and missions, cooperating to accomplish goals and avoiding defeat. Great. Plays one of 8 unique characters with their own deck of cards and strategies to help you fight enemies and solve dilemmas to complete mission objectives. All the action takes place on an illustrated map book to recreate iconic moments from Season 1 of the hit Disney Plus series. With an intuitive system that's easy to teach, the game grows with new rules, components and mission types added over time, some even featuring a hidden traitor mechanism. Okay, I hadn't read that sentence before. Maybe we just skip that mission. I don't know. I was really keen, like, despite not having seen the thing, I like Star Wars stuff. Hey, that's kind of tied in nice, isn't it? But yeah, hidden traitor stuff can get right out of town. I'm not interested in that one tiny bit. Well, I'll have to go and check it out and see how essential that is as you go on. Maybe it's just an optional thing or just part of a couple of missions. That's going to be apparently at the Asmodee Star Wars stand. They've got a specific booth for all of their Star Wars related stuff. Next is Board&Dice, and they're going to have, I think, for sale, Windmill Valley, which is from designer Danny Garcia, and we played through Barcelona last year, one of my favourite games, I think, of last year. Was it in like the top 10? It was very high if it doesn't quite make it, which was fantastic. This is a lighter and quicker engine building game, and it's got a beautiful art style. A lot of the pictures seem to just be the cover. So I can't show you too much. Oh, there you go. It looks gorgeous. Look how bright and lovely it looks. And we are trying to... I can't think of the word. What farmers do. Well, grow tulips and that. And enhance your windmills. Look for people to buy all of this stuff from you. Get contracts. It sounds pretty cool to me. And yeah, I have got my eye on any Danny Garcia stuff after Barcelona. Next is Cephalofair, and I think you know what they're going to have. Amongst other things, I imagine, I think you're going to be able to maybe demo things from the RPG, but the big new thing that they'll have there, drumroll please, is, as played through on Slicker Trips, Gloomhaven Buttons and Books, the miniature, I can even reach it, look, it exists in real life. The little game shelf is within arm's reach. The miniature solo Gloomhaven, where you play through these short, puzzly, and sometimes very, very tricky scenarios, still got some of the item gathering, leveling up and stuff from the main game, the diminishing hand and exhausting things and trying to not only survive in terms of health, but in terms of cards you have left, all in a like miniature experience. That's going to be there, along with other stuff, I'm sure. Next up is, look for name of company, Chaosium Inc. And they're going to have, I think, a demo of a game. Fill time. Why are all the tabs needing to reload? What was the point of it? I might as well just be searching for them in real time. Horror on the Orient Express, the board game, which I backed out of breaking my, as I do too often, breaking my pact of not buying anything. It is a completely kind of new team, right? It's the company, Chaosium make the Call of Cthulhu RPG, right? They're, I think, mainly or historically mainly have been an RPG publisher, and they are making this dice selection based board game. It's a cooperative, you know, putting out fires, trying to avoid death for everybody and defeat the big bad kind of thing. But at the same time, there is there has been a murder on the Orient Express, and we are doing some kind of like deduction game to work out who done it, and that person's the cultist that's trying to make it all stop. And there's like your characters are unique in their own abilities, but they've got tiles as well, so those things can change between games. It's got like loads of extra packs that add characters and like make those characters possible as suspects to add loads of things. I think there's like a campaign expansion. I'm very excited. But it's a way away, I think. But for now, well, it says 2025 there, doesn't it? For now, you can demo something at the expo, which will be pretty cool. Oh no, you've scrolled too far. Next up is CGE and, well, we'll say the Eurogame first. They're both Eurogames. The kind of new big Euro for this year is SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. I know it's spacey themed. I know it's got a beautiful cover. There you go. So you lead a scientific institution tasked with searching for traces of life beyond planet Earth, draws inspiration from current or emerging technologies and efforts in space exploration. You will make use of over 200 cards to aid your efforts, or focus your research in a particular direction for bonuses and rewards. Each card has unique effects and illustrations depicting real-life technologies. Pays homage to space and planetary exploration, astronomy, the ongoing search for signs of life in the vastness of space, and efforts to understand the nature of life in the universe. I'm on board. It's got a solo mode. That's kind of, I know it was kind of, what was the game from last year? It was kind of integral that it was like a multiplayer thing, and that's one of the reasons that I never played last year's release. But SETI sounds really cool. I'm hopefully going to be, I don't know about playing a whole game of it, but I'm going to be seeing it. I'm going to be visiting CGE and checking out this. And as cool as this looks, I am very, very excited for dun 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 Little Alchemists. Alchemists was such like I feel like it's probably about 10 years old now. I loved it so much. Like there's not that many logic deduction games, especially wrapped up in a kind of hairy Euro game. I remember like Rach really didn't like it. Rach doesn't like logic puzzles, and it was like a fairly heavy game as well. And I feel like memory's failing me a bit here. I feel like there was a little bit of meanness, not out and out, you know, attacking each other, stealing each other's research and stuff. But yeah, there was something a bit uncomfortable about it. But Alchemists is back all these years later from the same designer, and it's like a family, like, kids deduction game, which I know that, like, hey, we'll maybe get to play it with a kid. But yeah, it looks all cute. Even as like a family game, I am keen to see how this has been adapted and morphed into a more accessible deduction experience. Because look at that, that's the thing from Alchemists. It'll be really cool. I don't know if it doesn't look like, well, I suppose like the ingredients look like that. Oh, someone's got a phone. You're still using the phone to scan the ingredients and see what's what. Yeah. Just that glimpse of Alchemist again. I'm very tempted to get Alchemist back again and give it another go, but I've been doing that too much with getting back old things. I'm supposed to be making space. I'm supposed to be not having piles of things everywhere. So yeah, Little Alchemists is coming. I assume they're both going to be released at Essen, and they're just going to be kind of prototypes at the UK Games Expo, but we'll see, won't we? Next up is Devir, and they are going to have, I don't know about for sale, Cities, which is a collaboration of Steve Finn, as Roddo proclaims, king of the filler, who has done things like Biblios, Institute for Magical Arts, so many amazing snappy experiences, and Phil Walker Harding, Baron Park, Sushi Go, the Joey Games series. I don't know why I'm pointing behind me there. You can't see him. This is space behind me, isn't it? But yeah, they are teaming up on a game, which is, I think it was that in like, I think the next one as well, weren't these in like my most anticipated of the year? City building game where you draft the best projects and arrange them in your own playing area. Who needs to know more? Over 8 rounds, you use your workers to collect a scoring card, a city tile, 1 to 2 feature tiles, and 2 to 4 building pieces. City tiles are made up of park spaces, water spaces, and building spaces. Building pieces are placed on the building spaces of the same colour to form buildings, which can be 1 to 4 stories high. Whenever a player fulfills an achievement, they place one of their discs on the achievement board. At the end of the game, most points wins. I'm up for it. Like, designer pedigree alone, and Devir as well. Like, Devir have been putting out some fantastic stuff as well. It looks lovely. I like chunky, towery pieces too. Cities sounds like it's definitely worth checking out. But not only that, I assume this is going to be a demo. Isn't this coming out at Gen Con perhaps? Which I know isn't that far away. But I talked about this at the start of the year as well. I should click while I'm talking, shouldn't I? Rock Hard 1977, which designed by Jackie Fox of The Runaways, someone with first-hand experience of the subject matter. We're going to rehearse, play gigs, get a record deal, and become the most famous rock star of 1977. You're an up-and-coming musician dreaming of making it big with your band. You'll rehearse, play gigs, write songs, and promote your band. With careful planning and a little luck, you'll earn the most fame and be the best new artist of the year. You win the game by accruing the most fame. How? Increasing reputation, chops and songs, achieving production performance and publicity bonuses, getting record deals and earning royalties, playing rock concerts and hanging out at the hottest after-hours spot. Ready to live like a rock star? I feel like there were pictures of, yeah, look at this, look at their player boards. They're amps that go up to 11. I believe that is all of the stuff that we know so far. Or were these all from Essen? There you go. You can see the cover and stuff. Yeah, I can't wait for this. And like, whenever it's said like, oh, themes more in board games, like it's like bands and music themes, I want more of. I can't wait for that. Next, we are going on to Dranda Games, and they are going to have, first of all, as featured on Slicker Trips, Pioneer Rails, an absolutely fantastic roll and write game from designer Matthew Dunstan, that we've already discussed, and Jeffrey D. Allers. You can check out the playthrough. You can check out Rach getting, I don't know, maybe other people have scored higher since. At the time, an absolute record score. Hey, maybe I beat her and got more than that. No, it's to the point where like Rach is like, you play that solo in future. Like, want the record to stay intact. It is such a good Wild West themed game where you are trying to build across. You know, you're trying to, with different suits, you're trying to spread out from the suit symbol on the board to fill in various routes, surround certain things, get to things first. It works beautifully. Absolutely worth checking out, and presumably that's going to be for sale, right? But they're also going to have, for demo, they're going to have Galactic Cruise. It looks pretty cool. I'd really like to have a go with that. And yeah, hopefully at some point, maybe when it comes out, it'll get featured on here. I'm gutted that, well, I wasn't asked, so I wasn't expecting one, but yeah, I'm gutted that I wasn't. They're also going to have a prototype for another game they have got coming up. I think it's going to be coming to crowdfunding later in the year, which sounds, just from a text description, it sounds all Bioshocky. A new biopunk world where biological enhancements are the best way to victory. It's a customizable worker placement game. Set in a 1920s biopunk universe, each player has a blue, yellow, and red worker. Each time you place a worker, you activate the action's location, an additional action determined by the worker's colour. You can unlock the full potential of biological upgrades by infusing your workers with biological upgrades, granting them a decisive edge over your opponents. Collect elements, trade them for objective cards, establish dominance over particular elements, and the player with the most points wins. What powers can we get? What do we do with stuff? So you can see how the people are being morphed. It sounds cool from that. I'm sure we'll find out more as we go on. Hey, look, there's a booth. A photo of people taking a photo of Mutagen. Where was this? This must have been Essen, right? I don't remember it at the last expo. I'm trying to think. I have been thinking for the first time, probably since 2019, like, maybe I might go to Essen. I don't think it will work out financially, but it's good to, like, the first inklings are, like, there again, because every other year I've just been like, no, I'm not going, and relieved that I'm not going. That's a little aside. Next up is Hachette Board Games, UK, who kind of represent a lot of, like, European publishers, right? And they bring them over here. So they are going to have Shackleton base from designers Fabio Lopiano and Nestor Mangione, who've done, you know, like Darwin's Journey, Merv. They are working together. And another space-based game. This time we are trying to build a base on the moon. We are leading space agencies working together to expand their presence on the base, while at the same time the three major corporations sponsoring the mission are pursuing their own agenda. It's quite a heavy Euro game as well. This is like, it's not like on Mars heavy, but like that's pretty meaty. This game, you pick 3 corporations randomly from the 7 available. Each corporation has new projects, actions, and scoring opportunities with specific mechanisms. We have a shuttle phase where we draft a shuffle, which gives you astronauts and resources. You spend those astronauts and resources getting stuff, funding projects. Depending on the corporations, there'll be completely different types of resources that can be used in different ways. And then deployed astronauts are assigned to work on the structures, providing a bonus to the player who owns them. It looks pretty nice as well. It's from designers, it's from publishers as well. Sorry We Are French. That I think I've only played Demeter, the roll and write from them, but yeah, I hear great things. So I hope I'll get to check that out. We'll see how things go. But they are also going to have, if you were a fan of logic puzzles, of deduction stuff, and specifically of Turing Machine, new from the designers of Turing Machine, and I think as well part of a new series, is Kronologic Paris 1920. Be the first to crack the case by interrogating suspects and deducing the culprit. Unravel a series of unexplained affairs at the Paris Opera to re-establish the truth. Collect clues about the movements of implicated characters by determining where they were at the time of the incident. On your turn, align a suspect's card with a special perforated tile and get 2 pieces of information about their movements. The first piece is for your eyes only, the second one must be shared with other players. Do you have what it takes to solve the mystery first? I hope so. This sounds so cool. I don't know that... I'm glad that it works solo as well, because like, as much as I love Turing Machine, I don't think I know anybody else that would want to play Turing Machine. But that's fine because it works solo and I can have a lovely puzzly time. I think with the theme and the art and stuff not being as abstract as the analog computer of Turing Machine, I think this will be a lot easier to draw people in. And yeah, it sounds like it's got a bit of that analog mechanism as well, of putting a perforated card in to reveal the information to you. Yeah, I cannot wait for this. Any kind of deduction stuff I am all on board for, and with a designer pedigree, it sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Next up, so that is the Hachette Board Games. Now we're going on to All or Nothing, who the only thing they've got in the new games list, I think they will have all of their games, right? But like for sale there, all of the previous games. But this is the currently kind of in manufacture, about to come out game, Kreel Manor, the dungeon crawl card game. I have recently, like in the last few months and very recently in playthrough times, it's just happening. I think it went up yesterday, right? I've been getting into Killforth. I've got Shadows of Killforth at the moment. I've been really enjoying that. A lovely, dicey, story-based time. I'm very keen on getting Call of Killforth, which is, so Shadows of Killforth, like Gloom of Killforth, like fantasy themed. Shadows of Killforth is more Eastern themed. Call of Killforth is, forgot the thing that I just said, is like piracy and seafaring themed. Yeah, really cool look, and I want to try that out. But there is this kind of side series that, so Veilwrath is the first one. I don't know if they're like take place in a chronology, or it's like, I know it's a sequel in some way. If it's like how Gloom of Killforth has the different themes and stuff. Oh, you should read the description while you're pontificating about it. Prequel to the award-winning Veilwrath, which I haven't played, but hey, if that one's ready, maybe I should have a go at that. Kreel Manor takes place before the end of the world, whence colour and life still bloomed. A last alliance of powerful heroes discovers the existence of a potential tear in the veil between worlds, which threatens to release a plague of ancient demons upon the realm of Killforth. Venturing forth, the heroes trace the source of this foul scourge to its origin, the ominous and deadly citadel, Kreel Manor. Kreel Manor. In Kreel Manor, players become the managers of champions of bygone times, embarking on a doomed quest to save the world. It sounds very cool, and yeah, I've got bookmarked. I haven't watched it yet. Ricky Royal has done a series of this, just where I think he's played through like several missions, like an edited series of the first mission, and then live plays of a couple more of them. I am gonna try and get them watched. I don't know if I'll have time before the playthrough. There you go. Look at that, Adventure 2 full solo playthrough. Yeah, I think it's still like in production right at the moment. Yeah, like PPC. That's getting the proof, isn't it? But yeah, it sounds pretty cool to me. And as always with everything that's like, even the kind of historical war fighty games that I'm not as into, like everything that they do, the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. have the top comment on Shadows of Kilforth at the moment, how gorgeous it looks, because they all do. Right, next up, InsideUp Games are going to have, and I think this might have been out for a while, right? Draft and Write records. Hey, I want music-themed things. Hey, you should see all of my records. I used to work in a record shop. Love records. And I love roll and write games. And basically, there we go. You're drafting musicians, backstage staff, arranging them to unlock fans, money, and opportunities, and kind of roll and writes Rockstar game. I haven't seen much about it, but yeah, I love roll and writes. I love the theme. It's got lovely art. I'd love to check it out. Next up is Lirius Games, who did a couple of years ago, I think it was a couple of summers ago, right? They did Age of Comics, which I did an overview video for, where you're trying to publish your own comics, and you could do kind of, if someone else brought out a comic style, you could rip it off and do these copycat comics, like in what happened in real life in that it's a golden age of comics. Yeah, it was a very cool game. They are back. They're at the expo for the first time, and they are here with another big game, Timeless Journeys, the Italian Grand Tour, which will be coming to some kind of crowdfunding sometime later. Nestor Manjone's here again. He's designing everything. This time with Andrea Robiani. Embark on a captivating journey through the Italian peninsula of the late 18th century. Inspired by the historical Grand Tour, this immersive board game invites players to delve into a world of art, culture, and intellectual pursuits. Yes, that's very much us. The game blends hand management and building, resource management, map movement, and set collection elements. As players travel through Italy, they explore the art cities, meet with prominent figures, and establish meaningful correspondences, collecting experiences for their writings. See if we've got any more images than the cover at the moment. Here you go. Here's the prototype board. That's all we know at the moment, but it's going to be available to demo. There are slots that you can book if you want to get in on a demo. Unfortunately, I haven't got time in the times that the slots are, but it looks cracking. We're definitely going to be heading over, saying hello, and having an overview of it, I hope, if there's time. But yeah, have a play of it. Let me know what I'm missing out on. Next, we have Llamascape Games, and this is one that's kind of in development. There will be something there. Behemoth Rise of Shadow, an epic and immersive cooperative adventure game with elements of deck building, exploration, and innovative AI mechanics that adapts to players' actions. Set in a fantastic future, the story starts in the year 2065 when Nyx awoke out of nowhere. We are now in 2265 and we believe her to be an ancient goddess of shadow. Since her rise, she has been corrupting Earth, turning life and the very elements that constitute it into shadow. Human civilization as we know it has been wiped out. Surviving humans live on the Behemoth, a mastodontical magical rhino in close relationship with magical beasts. A small group of people and beasts play a crucial role in ensuring the survival of life and constitute the last bit of hope. These are the rangers and their companion beasts that wander through the corrupted land to fight the shadow, rescue other beasts, and protect the journey of the Behemoth. I think it's slated for, it will be on Kickstarter next year, so still, in development. But from the description and the concept art, it looks pretty great. It looks pretty gorgeous. I am on board with the setting laid out there. Look at this that we're living on. Yeah, and we'll see more as time goes on, I'm sure. Next is Mighty Boards. We're going to have all sorts of things there. We're going to have the Hamlet expansion, right? Again, I don't know what's to try and what's to buy. They've got that Ryan Knizia game that will be for demo that's crowdfunding right now. But I don't know if this will quite be ready for sale yet, or if this is going to be for demo again. Fateforge Chronicles of Karn, which kind of re-implements, uses the combat system from Vengeance, the Roaring Rampage of Revenge kind of game, and ties it into this existing Fateforge world. I think is it like an RPG setting? Yeah, and it turns it into this narrative. It was with an app base, right? It was with an app. So you'll make choices, you'll play through the stories, and then you will have combat scenes that use that amazing dice placement, dice combat system that was so good in Vengeance. And yeah, you can just play it as little sessions. You can play it as a big ongoing thing. I did a hey, there's me. I did an overview. I'm the latest video. I did an overview of the prototype of it. I was very taken with it. But, I mean, that's kind of... It helps that it uses the dice system from a game I was very taken with as well. Yeah, and hopefully it's not going to be too long now until we can get to playing it. Next is Mindclash Games, who are going to have... They're going to have a new game that I haven't written down, but I thought still need a mention. And why not mention? This is new to the Expo, right? This wasn't out last Expo, was it? Maybe it was, and I'm losing my marbles. I should mention their new game because I'm not into fighting each other. Ironwood. This is the latest game that I think is it like coming to a Visit Project. It must be on crowdfunding right now. You can see it sponsored in Focus, where it boils down to me and Rach don't play games where we're fighting against each other. Although it has got like a solo mode in it. Maybe I should be checking it out. But yeah, Voidfall is one of the best games of last year. I think my second favourite game in the top 10 of last year. It is a deep Euro experience with such an amazing solo mode. I encourage you to check it out if you're at the Expo and you haven't yet. Next up is Misfit Hobbies. And this isn't on Board Game Geek, so we're going to have to rely on... Oh, you text too wide. There we go. I'll make the window a bit smaller so the Expo website fits in. Cryptborn, a solo roll and write dungeon crawler that will be available for playtesting at the UK Games Expo. Inspired by games like Darkest Dungeon, you awaken the castle crypt, awoken by some unknown force as it enlists your help to rid the castle of the evil that it has succumbed to. I quite like that. Not that I played too much of Darkest Dungeon, because I don't think it's for me. I'd be interested to try the board game though. But any kind of roll and write things, especially any kind of solo stuff. And Dungeon Crawler, it's got a lot of things that are ticking a lot of boxes. And yeah, I think it will be worth checking it out if you're into those things as well. Let's see where they... Oh, there you go. The Advance to the Expo website, it does say the stand. So you can see them in Hall 1. Next is Nailer Games, who are going to have... They're going to have their NG6 real-time co-op dungeon crawler, which I haven't seen anything of yet. I keep seeing it popping up and I want to go and check it out. But the thing for me, Snowdonia, such a fantastic game. One of my favourites at this point with the master set and stuff. So many different modules and ways of kind of changing up that Snowdonia formula, which even, you know, with the base settings, I love that game. But yeah, when you start doing like a Necropolis line and transporting daffodils and stuff, there's so much to it. But it is getting a great big like spin-off, right? Rather than an expansion. These are great big new scenarios that constitute the Grand Tour. I think with completely their own boards and stuff. So it lets them deviate even more from the Snowdonia like experience. A completely new substantive game mode that enhances and builds on all of the content you already own. And if you got that master set and the little extra box, that's a lot of content. A special new component to improve all your Snowdonia games. Ambitions and challenging new scenarios made possible by these new elements. Full compatibility with all previous versions. All promos released since the master set collected for the first time. A new revised and updated base game, allowing new players to discover the world of Snowdonia at a more accessible price point. Because that is a thing, right? That as amazing as the master set is, I don't think you can get like the original game's been out of print right for a long time. So what if you want to try Snowdonia and you don't want the huge master set? And for master set owners, the final fix pack. Hey, stuff needs fixing still. But hey, there's an open letter here if you want to check that out. But yeah, I need to get over and have a look at this. Prototype of Murder on the Orient Express there. But yeah, just more Snowdonia is fine. But it sounds like they've gone for very kind of lofty ambitions. And I'm keen to have a go of it. Hey Stuart, you got a demo slot booked? Amazing. Like, I don't think... We have got some things booked in, but I don't think... We've got more stuff booked in probably than ever. When I tried... I don't know. I always think... In one way, I don't want to book anything, because I'm always kind of anxious of getting to the next thing on time. And we've got, like, meetings and stuff to book as well. But there's things that I want to try all of this stuff out. I need to, but I'm just going to pop up at stands and see if people that I haven't got bookings with for. I just want to look around. But yeah, I've got more booked in than usual this time. But I think, like, generally, the problem with booking some of the things in the past has been you get all of these invites to go to these meetings that just get emailed to everyone on the press list, and they seem like, oh, we know you in particular and want to see you. And there's been so many meetings, kind of at Essen as well, but we've gone and been like, oh, cool, who are you and what do you want? Oh, your email said that you wanted to meet with me. Oh well, but I think we've made better choices this time. Next up is Ape Games, who made Distilled, and are going to have like a little expansion for Distilled, right? But their new great big game, which I am going to be doing a playthrough for later in, well, not later in the year, like it's going to be in 6 months' time. It's going to be quite soon, right? It launches in just over a month, I think. And we're getting a prototype soon. I am very excited about it. Luthia, craft musical instruments for patrons through worker placement and hidden bidding. It is an enormous game. Like, we only saw we saw a prototype of it that I don't think had any art or very little art last time. Any stuff been... Oh, look at this. A mock-up at PAX Unplugged 2023. There we go. It didn't look like that. It was very much kind of white paper for a lot of the stuff. So you are trying to like craft these instruments. You're trying to get people placed in the orchestra in the middle. You can't see it, but that's... Oh, I should just point on here, shouldn't I? Trying to get people placed in the right places in the orchestra. You're getting people that will be more skilled at making the instruments and things. It sounds so good. And again, like, hey, there's saying, oh, I want more musical themed games coming out. Hey, it's happening. Like music themed games. I'd like musical themed games as well. Why not? But yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. The art is by Vincent Dutrait, who does absolutely beautiful work. And yeah, I can't wait to see the like full art prototype in person and have another look at it. But also, yeah, as I said, I'm going to be doing something for it, and oh, it's going to be great. Next up, and something that there were queues for last year and I had absolutely zero interest in. But now, oh no, I might be falling down a rabbit hole. Lorcana, which, you know, like many things, these collectible fight versus fight games that I don't really care about, suddenly in its latest set got a co-op stroke solo mode, albeit a little bit limited for now, but I'm optimistic. I think there's room to do more from this. You can just buy this set on its own, and it comes with 2 complete starter decks and an Ursula deck, the AI deck. So you guys are playing Lorcana as normal, and all the effects that would affect other players, you're hurting Ursula, and you're all trying to race for points while you do stuff to each other. Hey, why didn't I have this from the start? I could have been on board right from the get-go. I could have been queuing up for a promo code or whatever everyone was doing last year. I imagine it's going to be rammed and things are going to be crazy and there'll be cards that you can't get and all sorts of stuff. But hey, Lorcana, I'm sure they're watching this. Keep going in this direction. More villains, please. Just do packs of little villains and have loads of variety. There's variety in Ursula, the difficulty modes. There's loads of cards you won't see just yet. There's a special secret, unlockable card. But yeah, it could be a great thing, and it's nice to play like one of these things, like see Lorcana and think, oh, that's kind of cool, but kind of switch off from it because I'm not going to play a game where we're fighting against each other. But as soon as you bring in an AI opponent to fight against, suddenly I just want to be ripping packs open all day. I've resisted somewhat, but we'll see when it's all laid out in front of me. I've seen that you can get genie sleeves. I want genie sleeves. And for me, like, and Rach especially, my wife, absolutely loves all of this stuff and I've got my limited Disney stuff that I saw mainly when I was little, references. Rach can tell me where all this stuff is from and name bits from the films and see all of these little references and things in there. So it's great for that as well, for bringing Rach into it. Not that she needs bringing into things, but it's something that she's up for as well. Next is, where are we on this list? Rock Nest Games, who are going to have Chroma Arcana to demo, I think, which is like in the same kind of vein. This, in its base form, is a 2-player dueling card game, which, yeah, cool. We don't fight against each other, but there is a pack that you can get. So yeah, you're playing spells based on their colours of magic, different strategies, reduce your rival's health to 0, place cards in your spellbook, discard cards of a matching colour to charge those spells up, and then you can cast them. There is an expansion for it, so I've backed this as well, that's called Tyrant Hunt, which makes the game, again, which turns it into a co-op experience. So suddenly we can join in this charging up spells and doing everything that you do in the normal game, but suddenly all of those effects are being cast on this cooperative tyrant instead. Which, hey, that's your secret. If you're doing some kind of dueling card game, think of a way of making it work cooperatively as well. Hey, opens it wide open. Next up is Shadow. Oh, and it looks beautiful as well. I don't think I've really shown much kind of card art and stuff off. There isn't too much zoomed in that I can show you here. You can check it out. It was on Kickstarter. But yeah, it's got absolutely gorgeous artwork, which I should say for Arcana as well. Got lovely imaginative artwork. Next is Shadowborn Games, who have famously done Oathsworn at the moment, which I've only played a little bit of. I really enjoyed it though. They are going to be coming back with Avalon, the Riven Vale, an Arthurian game in which legends explore the misty isle of Avalon. So 1 to 4 players, designed again by Jamie Jolly, and I think we are going to be having a demo of this actually. So it's a 2 to 4 player Arthurian based area control and exploration game. Again, area control, something that I'm majorly into, but it's got a solo mode as well. If it ends up that the multiplayer mode would be too conflicty for us, hey, there's a solo mode for it, so I could play that instead. You lead mighty factions through the Misty Vale to discover what awaits on the mystical Isle of Avalon. Explore the mists, discover legendary items of power, bond mythic beasts, hunt for the Grail, and prepare for war. Yeah, it's the exploration kind of side of things that excites me more than the area control side. We can look at some lovely evocative art for it. I've clicked the wrong direction. Hey, look at some great big minis. This guy's on a horse. So yeah, that's going to be coming. Avalon, the Riven Vale. Next is Sinister Fish Games. And the designer and artist of the, I don't know what trilogy you would call it, the Sinister Fish trilogy, Villagers, Streets, and Moon, Hokun Gorda. Thank you for the pronunciation guide. Where was I? There's trilogy, you know, Villagers, Streets, Moon. I did videos for all of those things. Great in their own unique ways. Now, separate to that trilogy completely, a cataclysm in the old world sends refugee ships teeming to the new world. Elves, goblins, ogres, dwarves, and skeletons from beyond the great ocean set up sawmills, wharfs, workshops, and homes on the plains outside a great city. They bring with them Arcana. Nearly said Arcana. Magical crystals native to their lost continent that hold great value in these new lands. A worker placement and engine building game from the designer and illustrator of Villagers, Streets, and Moon. And that's what we have so far. There is a lovely box cover. It looks very nice. I've got high hopes based on those 3 games already. And yeah, I believe that's going to be, you can get demo slots. I think it's fully booked for demo slots actually. But we'll be wandering over and peering over people's shoulders to see what is going on. Next, from Skytear Games. And this is a game that's, here we go, it's right in the subtitle here. The feeling of competitive TCGs delivered in a solo or co-op experience. So it is based around that card play of building up energy, playing these cards, working to create lovely chains and combos, getting creatures out, fighting in lanes, but everything opposing you is controlled by the game itself. We have played the base game a bit, but it's coming up with what looks like a fairly big standalone expansion, Once 2 players fight against the horde of monsters controlled by the game, gives you the feeling of playing a solo or cooperative version of competitive battlers like Keyforge, Hearthstone, or Magic the Gathering. So there's monsters trying to attack your castle and you need to stop them and defeat that castle instead. In my list, there are many new themes and mechanics refreshing the game on all fronts. There's 4 new pre-made decks, and the fundamental change is you must exhort an ally in order to move it, giving more deep meaning and depth to the positioning of your allies. Cards are also designed with more potential combos than ever, allowing for the power level to reach a higher ceiling, something you absolutely need given the brand new difficulty system. It sounds very cool. I think it's about to start shipping. I should be getting a copy, and we will be doing a playthrough at some point when that happens. But yeah, there's been a lot of... I wouldn't usually be saying anything TCG related, but hey, make them cooperative. And this is a Skytear Horde is one that is from the ground up is designed to be that. It's the 3 players, I think, is someone can control the baddies. We're not interested in that, but yeah, rather than the other 2 being, hey, we've got a TCG, but also here's a solo mode as well. Although Chrono Arcana had that from the beginning. It's Lorcana that's a latecomer. Although it hasn't even been out very long, has it? Feels like it's been out for ages. Next, from Tactics Games, Deep Regrets, which I love from the sound of the description anyway, but let's hope that there's some art in the images section, because it looks amazing. A game for 1 to 5 players, an unfortunate fishing game about pulling progressively more horrifying things out of the ocean. Decide what to eat, what to sell, what to mount, and how many regrets you're willing to carry as you push yourself too far and spiral towards a thrilling conclusion in this strategic horror fishing game. You'll roll bespoke tackle dice at the start of each turn to determine your strength and decide whether you'll stay at sea or return to port to sell fish, buy provisions, and recharge your energy. Survey the sizes of shadows on the backs of 9 different fish shoals at the 3 depths, determining what you think you can afford to catch and if you want to risk for a potentially better reward. Flip fish, spend dice, and add them to your collection, but beware of reveal and catch abilities that can have various effects on the game. Each fish, item, and character has been meticulously hand-inked by the designer, Judson Cohen. Look at some of these, I think. Oh, here we go. The pictures are down here. Look at the horrors that you could be fishing up from the briny deep here. Look at that odd ring. Can I make them bigger and then scroll? Yes, I can. It's got an absolutely gorgeous, well, gorgeous in a horrific... It's meant to be weird and horrific. Gorgeous in the most horrific way. Look at all of this. It looks like... I'd say, like, I saw it from a purely text-based, like, Excel file that got sent out of all the stuff that's going to be at the press preview. But when I clicked on and saw this artwork, it just looks absolutely lovely. And as well as all of that stuff, it's going to have a special solo mode where... So in the solo mode, which you can also co-op, amazing, you act as an ichthyologist on a mission to catch and catalogue every fish in the sea. Over a campaign of dozens of games, you'll try to reel in every last fish and document their attributes on a provided catalogue sheet. At the end of the game, you'll have to discard an equal value of fish to the regrets you've collected and may have to let some fish go to return to another day. At the end of the campaign, you'll have a catalogue of all fish names, depths, values, and difficulties that can be used by players in the multiplayer game to help identify what they might fish up. Sounds like a cool way of incorporating the solo and having a kind of ongoing thing that can tie back into the multiplayer. It's going to be, I think, on some kind of crowdfunding later in the year. Yeah, I am definitely going to be going to check this out. It looks very cool. So yeah, that's Deep Regrets. And next, and finally, the final publisher on here is the one that caught my eye despite not being on the press preview or the new games list. Tomy. I mean, Tomy's got to stand out, right? They made all of the toys. They're apparently making board games now. So they are going to have Medical Mysteries. The subtitle that isn't on the description on UK Games Expo, NYC Emergency Room. It sounds like, and I have to say that the review somewhere here, oh yeah, by Saunders here, play an episode of House. Like, oh yeah, it's like playing an episode of House. Let's have a look through Richard's review. So after going through a tutorial, there are 4 different patients in here. Patients, I can say words. That through your various, there are cards like there are big boards that have different, if you can see at the back here, that have the different kind of treatments, the different options to you. It is a kind of, it's a deduction game, a detective kind of game, but you are trying to solve these medical mysteries instead. Like the Rue was talking about, you get to be house for a bit, unofficially, of course. But yeah, the only, like, the kind of thing, as soon as it's kind of medical themed, you think, oh, okay, I hope it's not going to be, like, I hope it's still going to be, like, fun in some way, that things aren't going to get kind of too heavy. But, yeah, a race against the clock to save these 4 different patients that come with, like, if you can see there, they come in, like, all these little envelopes. Obviously, you can't see too much about them because it'll spoil it for you. But, yeah, I like the puzzly detective things, and it seems like a new spin on it. I'd like to check that out. And also, they are going to have Ultimate Treehouse. That looks like a lighter game, but you are trying to play action cards from your hand to accumulate resources to build any or all of the 14 different treehouse elements in your quest to build the ultimate treehouse. Can we see some of these treehouses, please? That'll be the board we get stuff from, isn't it? Is this a treehouse? There's a treehouse. Here's the stuff that you're putting in it. Walls, windows, ladders, telescopes, zip lines. I don't know how these are going to be incorporated or scored, but it looks lovely. Oh, there we go. There's it being put into a treehouse, isn't it? It's got a lovely art style. I like the theme. There's all kind of question like, oh, is it going to end up too light? But I'd love to give it a go anyway. And that's going to be available. Like, I think they're a kind of international partner bringing games here as well. Tomy are in the board game scene. So yeah, check them out. Maybe they've been before and I haven't realised. So there we go. That is 30 odd things that I've got my eye on. As I said, a lot of them are going to be there to try, and they'll be like released at, I know that there's some things coming out at Gen Con. There'll be a fair few things from this that are going to be coming out at Essen, but there's still going to be plenty to try there, plenty to buy from some of them as well, from things that I was talking about to try last year, like, hey, Pioneer Rails, it's available now. So it's in because time keeps running out because I keep filming too many things. The expo is Friday, isn't it? I'm going to be there in a couple of days' time. It seems unreal. So yeah, if you're going, I'm going to be there. Find us. We'll be wandering about pretty much, I think, all day. We've got some stuff booked in. We'll probably be in Five Guys at some point on one or both of the days. If you can justify the cost in terms of money and calories. Such lovely burgers there. And the rest of the day, there's going to be excitement for board games as well. But there is excitement for that. I haven't had one for ages. But yeah, we're going to be there on Friday and Sunday. So hope to run into you. Say hello if you see us about, because we're going to be roaming around, hopefully looking at all of these things. But as I know from many conventions by now, that never happens. And I'm always going to come back saying, oh, didn't get a chance to do this. Oh, it's like 3 o'clock on Sunday. Everyone's packing up and we haven't seen this yet. James Conservus. If you've got any things that I haven't mentioned as well, let's have a look at them now. Conservus by Salt and Pepper Games. Scott Holmes. A solo bag building game. Ooh, this has slipped past me. Oh, I'll put the browser up. I forgot you couldn't see this. Conservus, a challenging solo bag building game. What you love most in life is bringing the joys of the sea to people around you, around the world. You own a small tinning company on the coast of Spain where you make simply the best conservus for everyone to enjoy. You are responsible for the whole process, from managing the boats that go out in the morning to catching the fish and finally selling your tinned goods. You have special goals each month, but it's not always about making the most money. Having a sustainable impact on the sea is very important. If you harm the ocean by overfishing, you will fail in your mission. Maintaining a balanced relationship with the sea is vital as you work hard and continue to make the best conservus in the world. Am I saying it right? That sounds pretty cool. Right, James, you're right. Let's go on the list. I need to check that out. Ooh, like a little binder. Some very zoomed in versions of that picture. Yeah, that sounds cool. And what's the other one? Panchayat? a light strategy tile placement game to build the best village in India. So the word comes from a Sanskrit word that means collection of five. In ancient times, a group of 5 elderly people collectively made decisions for the village. In this game, you take on the role of the panchayat and help turn the barren land into the most blossoming village, where you succeed in making your village the best. Use 2 building tiles, placing them on your village board and scoring points. When you select tiles, you also get the ability to hide some of the unused tiles. Points are earned by placing buildings near or in natural landscapes, near other buildings, or at the end of the game. You earn points from 3 types of bonus tiles. When you balance all this, you also need to consider placing building tiles in their groups of different sections. That sounds cool as well. I'll have to go there as well. Where's that from? Ape Games. Okay. I will be adjusting my list, James. You'll be there on Sunday. Yeah, definitely. Have a post on Discord as well, which, hey, you can join if you're on Patreon. It's not the only way that I'm going to talk to you. I'll talk to anyone. I can't believe that people know who I am. It's weird being out in there, because most of the channel, like 99% of the channel's life, is me sat in this room. Well, sat in space, as I am right now. I'm sat in this this void as these space triangles fly past me. So it's weird being out in the wilds doing stuff. And it's not finalised yet, and I don't want to tease stuff that isn't happening, but there's definitely something that's going to be happening next Friday as well. I'm sure that's going to be in our comings ups. But if you're like me, appearing in different places, and you're like Paul Grogan, hey, something's coming up. Going to be travelling again. June is going to be a pretty hectic month for various things. But also, we're going to be having a vote on Patreon as well. That will be happening. I know, like, it's June very soon. That will probably be happening at some point next week, because who knows, like, if things will be picked up at the expo, if things will be arriving after the expo. Hey, it's I'm excited about stuff. I've got Peacemakers. I've got the final version of Peacemakers. That'll be on there. But yeah, some very cool things coming up, and very cool things getting filmed and edited. There's Agamonia is coming up on Kickstarter this week. Not Kickstarter, Patreon. On my Patreon, you can see my video for Agamonia is coming up this week, and it'll be on the channel next week. And I've been playing. It's finally arrived. It is the vote winner for this month, and it only came at the very end of the month. But Slay the Spire is now here. My late pledge is here. I have played, I think, I've played like 3, not necessarily games, because a different amount of acts, 3 runs of it so far, at various player counts, at 1, 2, and 3 players so far. I love it so much. It's to be expected, because Slay the Spire, the video game, is one of the best things. And yeah, I can't believe how well it's translated into cardboard, because like when the Kickstarter was on and stuff, and you kind of seeing it and think, oh, it's going to be so much upkeep. How's this ever going to translate it into a normal card game? The video game removes all of that. But adding cooperation and how they've adapted all of the stuff to work in the board game, it is so good. I'm working on that. There's going to be playthroughs. I hope several of it. But yes, next up, well, there's editing and some of this. Hey, I'm doing a rules video for Legacy of Thrax. You can see it's laid out here. I've been filming it. I've been editing it. That's going to be coming your way at some point soon as well. And yeah, next week there is going to be a rules video for Pillars of Heracles. There's all sorts of stuff coming up, but it's hard to imagine next week, because there's a lot of stuff coming up all over this weekend as we go to the expo. So yeah, hopefully I will be back soon with reporting back on some of this stuff. Hopefully Rachel will be taking pictures, because I am awful at remembering that I've got a camera in my pocket at all times. Hopefully we'll see you there if you're going to the expo. Hopefully we'll see you there if we see you at the stands and you've got one of the games that I've mentioned. I'm shy. Like when I get there in person as well, I want to go and hide in a corner sometimes. So yeah, you have to just call me, give me a shout, and get me over. Right. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. We will talk again very soon, probably, about a lot of these games once they are in my hand or in my field of vision. And there'll be recorded playthroughs in the meantime too. So I hope you enjoy them. Shadows to Kill Forth just went up yesterday. If you haven't seen that yet, I think it's a very fun one. There's a devilish angel going off on adventures. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you all soon. Yeah, flash mob me. If you can organise that between yourselves. If there is enough crossover between people going to the expo and people that have got a clue who I am, then yeah, do it. Yeah, I'll see you Sunday, James. It will be great. Hopefully we'll all have a great time. And yeah, I've said all of the things, haven't I? Bye, everybody. Bye, bye, bye.